Welcome students. In this video, we will be discussing about the important questions of NGT, Next Generation Technology. In NGT, the Unit 1 consists of about big data, NoSQL, introduction to MongoDB. So let's try to focus on all the questions which are related with the Unit 1. Unit 1, the first question comes as what is the big data? I will not advise to skip any of the questions. I will always advise that prepare all the questions, but some questions are quite important questions. Focus on those questions important. The facts about the big data. The next point comes over here that what is the source of a big data? The next questions comes about a question that what are 3 V's of big data? I will advise that this question need to be prepared quite nicely. Explain the uses of big data. This answer also need to be prepared nicely. What are the challenges of big data? This is the important question, so please focus on that. Explain legacy system and big data. Fine, this is what the historical part, but you can read it once. Explain big data technologies. In this, you will be understanding about operational data and analytical data. So I will advise to prepare for this answer properly. What is the SQL? Everybody knows about the SQL. So you can just read quite nicely about the challenges of RDBMS. What is the NoSQL? This is related with a document-oriented database. So please, about the brief history, you can read it once, but the rest of the point need to be quite nicely prepared by you. Explain CAP, that is the CAP theorem. I will advise that to prepare for this particular answer properly because CAP theorem aa sakta hai. Again, I am not something which is God which will be telling you that this is what the question will come. I will just advise the important questions. Okay. That does not mean that only these questions will come in the question paper. But for the NGT, as I was taking this particular session of NGT in my corporate also, I am able to go for preparing the contents in a more appropriate way. Explain NoSQL advantages, disadvantages. Please prepare for this answer also properly. And now once you prepare for the SQL and NoSQL, you are able to go for finding out the difference between the SQL and NoSQL. If you are interested not to prepare for the SQL and NoSQL, prepare for this answer. Automatically SQL, NoSQL and the difference between the SQL and NoSQL. Both will be getting prepared automatically. So एक ही question prepare कर दिया, 3-4 question का answer एक साथ आ गया. Explain the MongoDB philosophy, that is a document-oriented database. So JSON-based document storage is going to be there. So please prepare for this answer properly. Explain the SQL comparison. I don't think so that this is need to be done because already you had gone for preparing the SQL versus NoSQL difference. So these points need to be covered in your Unit 1. Now let's discuss about Unit 2. I'm creating only a single video for Unit 1 to Unit 5. So about the Unit 2, we are discussing about this Unit 2. You can find 64 pages have been added by me as a question bank. You might give a thought, sir, itne sare question prepare karne ka hai. The length of the questions, answers are quite big. Because I had just updated the output of the some queries also. You had done the practicals of MongoDB, so you are very well versed with the practicals of MongoDB. So I don't ask you to prepare for those questions which are related with the databases, etc. Like how to insert a record, how to update a record. We have done it practically. So you are able to write the content, but you can just read it once to go for revising. Explain the MongoDB data model is the important question. Write a short note on JSON and BSON. Now, if we are preparing the JSON, Unit 4 में भी JSON ही है. तो Unit 4 prepare कर लिया तो फिर ये JSON का वापस preparation का जरूरत पड़ेगा नहीं. तो ये basically difference between the JSON and BSON, that is the binary JavaScript object notation and JavaScript object notation need to be done. Okay, what is the meaning of this underscore ID in the capped collection? You should be knowing what you mean by the capped collection. I will be preparing the videos about the MongoDB practicals and MongoDB theory, but I don't think so you will be benefited because of it. The next semester 5 student will get benefited because of it, because it is short of time. But I will first focus on the semester 6 of your. So I will be able to create videos for all the subjects of semester 6. Moving ahead about the object-oriented programming. This is the common answer. Everybody knows about it. Explain the schema evolution. Read it once. Moving ahead, explain the basic query of the MongoDB. That is nothing but a create, read, update and delete. Now, the answer of these questions are only bigger. Because of that only you will find the number of pages are being increased. you're done a practical, so there is no need to prepare for these answers, but you just go through with the answers one. Now you will come to know why I was telling, because I had given examples also, that how to see the collection, how to see the database, how to insert the document, etc. Question number 7 is the practical question, but in theory also this kind of questions can be asked. But you have practiced the practicals, then I don't think so you require to prepare for this. Just read it once. This is all related with the creation of collections, creation of the database, insertion of the document, how to insert document inside a loop, how to go for modifying and deleting the document inside your MongoDB collection, how to go for querying the document, that is using the find. You had worked with the pretty also, the projection operator, then the filtration operators, etc. So conditional operators are there, and or equal to, greater than, that $EQ is going to be equal to $GT is going to be greater than. I think so you had practiced everything, so there is no need to worry about it. This question is quite important, that is explain map reduce. Ye question aaya bhi hai, so please follow about it. Aggregation function, that has been already tried by you, so please read it once. Regular expression question might occur, so please prepare for this question properly. Explain the use of cursor is also important question. But everything rest what I had told you, that is being prepared by in practical. So there is no need to worry about writing the answer. And the answer pages are been more because I had displayed the output also. So in an answer paper, do we require to go for displaying the output? If you are writing only one document, that is also more than sufficient for you. If you are writing no document, that is also okay to it, according to me. But छोटा सा output लिखोगे तो answer का weightage थोड़ा बढ़ता है. Explain the concept about indexes, the different types of indexes, like single key index is there. Further, you will be finding the next type of index, that is called a compound index, that is more than one column together as the index. These outputs are only increasing the number of pages in my answer sheet. So you are having single key, multi-key, you are having unique index. So please remember the types of indexes properly. You are knowing system indexes are there, how to remove the indexes. You can use a drop index command. How to reindex the indexes by using the reindex only. So please remember the types of indexes, single key, multi-key, then unique indexes and all. Designing the application data model is the important one. Please read it once. MongoDB document, data model and approach. I want that you should be preparing for this answer properly. Moving ahead, the next question arises like a operational consideration of the data lifecycle management. Please read it quite nicely. Sharding is something which is quite important because sharding ke upar question aane hi wala hai. And the concepts of core processes in MongoDB. You know that MongoD, MongoS and Mongo, they are the three main core processes which are related with the MongoDB. Nowadays, when you are installing the MongoDB with a new version, MongoDB get installed as a service. तो उसके लिए आप लोगों को MongoD करते, MongoS करते बैठना नहीं पड़ता. So these are all the services which are there. The various tools which are available in the MongoDB, they are nothing but MongoDump, MongoStore, bsndump, Mongo import, Mongo export. These all you had tried in your practical. Please remember the different types of deployment. They are nothing but a standalone deployment. What is the replication? Explain it. I feel that this is quite important question. So please prepare for this answer properly. How do you go for replicating the server and how the data will be replicated in the multiple servers in MongoDB. Even if the election process of MongoDB is also quite important one. What will be the primary, how the secondary will be considered and how the primary will be converted into what is secondary. So election process be काफी important question hai. So please prepare for that answer properly. Let us explain the election process. How from the child node, which node will be considered as the primary one. So please follow these kind of answers properly. Moving ahead, then this is what again the election process comes. That is when the failure occurs, how election process will get conducted. When the rollback occurs, how the election process will get conducted. Moving ahead, it is a big answer. You can cuddle it. I just add on the content so that you will be able to get the detail together at one place. So you don't require to refer to n number of material. I know little bit late ho gaya hai, but okay, I am doing this particular work with my team apart from our regular work, so it might consume the time. Explain implementing the advanced clustering with the replica set. So please remember that replica set is something important. So please prepare for this important question. शार्डिंग इज इंपॉर्टेंट. शार्डिंग का क्वेश्चन आने का चांसेस बहुत ज्यादा रहता है. अबाउट द शार्डिंग कंपोनेंट्स, तो डू नॉट स्किप द शार्ड्स. तो शार्डिंग कभी आपने स्किप करना नहीं चाहिए. शार्डिंग के ऊपर क्वेश्चन आ सकता है. अंडर द ह्यूज कंटेंट यू आर एबल टू गो फॉर राइटिंग अबाउट द शार्डिंग. सो प्लीज प्रिपेयर फॉर द शार्डिंग प्रॉपरली. हियर इट कम्स अबाउट द एक्सप्लेन डेटा बैलेंसिंग प्रोसेस. ठीक है, ये बकेट से होता है, बट फाइन, शार्डिंग एंड बकेट से होता है, बट यू कैन रीड इट वंस. इस पर बहुत ज्यादा प्रिपरेशन करने का जरूरत नहीं है, पर एक बार तो पढ़ना चाहिए, ऐसा मेरा एक्सपेक्टेशन है. Now you can understand why exactly my number of pages are more, because you will find many kind of what we can say outputs are being shown over here, figures are being shown over here. यूनिट 2 सबसे बड़ा यूनिट है, बिकॉज यूनिट 2 के अंदर बहुत सारे सब पॉइंट्स है. मूविंग अहेड, व्हाट आर द पॉइंट्स? रिमेंबर, when import data in a sharded environment, please prepare for this answer properly. This is a important questions. The different kind of scenarios which are there: scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3, and 4 scenarios are there. Like only one config server is available out of the 3. So how the scenarios work? So this is all about the important of unit 2. Unit 2 सबसे बड़ा था. As I told you, unit 2 consists of MongoDB data model used in MongoDB shell, MongoDB architecture. So these are what the 3 important points are there: a data model, a shell, these are all commands which you do it. Commands के ऊपर भी 2 क्वेश्चन आ सकता है. And MongoDB architecture. Sharding बिल्कुल आप लोग skip मत करना. Now let's move ahead with the unit 3. Unit 3 is again a complicated unit because it has a storage engine, it has a MongoDB use cases, it has MongoDB limitation, it has MongoDB best practices. So I will advise, यहाँ पे ये यूनिट पे ये टॉपिक पे क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, यूज केसेस पे क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, लिमिटेशंस पे क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस पे क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, और बाकी 2 क्वेश्चन कहां पे भी इंपॉर्टेंस जा सकता है. राइट. सो आई कैन नॉट जज कि अब इसमें से ये टॉपिक के ऊपर ही आएगा, ये टॉपिक के ऊपर नहीं आएगा. सो मेनी क्वेश्चंस आर बीन एडेड बाय मी. ओनली 37 पेजेस आर देयर. यूनिट 2 का नोट बहुत बड़ा हुआ था. रीजन वेरी सिंपल, बिकॉज आउटपुट्स आर बीन शोन, बिकॉज कमांड्स आर देयर इन यूनिट 3. Now, explain data storage engine is an important question. Let's move ahead. After this, you will find the next question which will be coming up. That is, explain the data file that is relevant, as well as what we can say White Tiger. So I will find you should read this particular question properly. What is data? How data is written using the journaling. एक बार read कर लो. Skip कुछ नहीं करना. किसी को ज्यादा importance दे दो. Let's move ahead. You will be coming about gift FS, the MongoDB file system. Please read it nicely. This is the important one. What is gift FS and how exactly it is being used in MongoDB? What is the indexing? Already we are knowing what is the indexing and different types of indexing. तो same type का option है. Different types of indexing में क्या था? Underscore ID index था, secondary index था, indexes with keys ordering था, unique indexes था, drop dumps था, sparse indexes था. So please prepare for the indexes. TTL indexes था, time to leave वाला, and geospatial indexes था. So please read about the indexes question properly. Moving ahead, behavior and limitations. This is important. Read it once. A schema design, fine. Read it once. Moving ahead, explain operation in detail about inserting data, single row insertion or single document insertion or bulk insertion. How to check the query performance data, the different queries you have to explain in that. If you are good in practicals, then you will not face any kind of problem over here. What is sharding? Again, the question of sharding is important. So please prepare for this sharding question properly. Explain mapping of data. It is again related to the indexes. Please remember this properly. Explain schema design is an important question. Moving ahead, explain operations in detail like viewing the post. ठीक है, ये एक बार पढ़ लेना. Moving ahead, the next question which I found at list and explain the MongoDB limitations. Please read it properly because limitations के ऊपर question आ सकता है. Namespace limit, bson limit, indexes limit. These are the limitations. Explain sharding limitation detail. Please read it quite nicely. This is the important question. Explain replica set limitation. Number of replica set members is an important question. Please read it properly. Explain deployment. Deployment को ऊपर एक question आ सकता है, तो please read properly about the deployment. हार्डवेयर सजेशन फ्रॉम MongoDB साइट, ठीक है, इसके ऊपर क्वेश्चन आया हुआ है तो आप एक बार इसको पढ़ लेना, तो इट्स क्वाइट नाइस, इजी है, एंड एक्सप्लेन कोडिंग इन डिटेल, you read it properly about this particular question also. Again, explain application response time optimization. इसमें ना मैं क्या skip करना बोल नहीं पा रहा हूँ. The reason is what all are important because there are number of points are there. So एक आधा point के ऊपर ज्यादा question पूछ लिया तो we will get stuck up. So I will advise कुछ भी skip मत करो. हाँ, कुछ चीजों को मैं important बोल रहा हूँ उसको थोड़ा ज्यादा prepare करो, पर skip करो अगर वही आ गया तो ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. Explain data safety is something important. एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, रिप्लिका लॉग जरा बराबर से प्रिपेयर करना. अगेन शार्डिंग है ही अपना मॉनिटरिंग के ऊपर का, तो शार्डिंग इज ऑलवेज बीन इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट ऑफ MongoDB. नाउ लेट्स मूव अहेड विद द यूनिट 4, दैट इज यूनिट 4 and 5 द स्मॉलर वन. मैं तो प्रेफर करूंगा पहले यूनिट 4 and 5 प्रिपेयर कर लो, जल्दी से प्रिपरेशन हो जाएगा, थोड़ा कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाएगा कि मेरे 2 यूनिट प्रिपेयर्ड है. लाइक द एंड ऑफ दिस SSD एंड इन मेमोरी डेटाबेस एंड jQuery. jQuery अगेन आपने प्रैक्टिकल में किया होगा ऐसा assumption है, एंड JSON है, that is JavaScript object notation. Now unit 4, let's try to work out with the what is the end of this. Please read it properly. Moving ahead, the next question comes as explain the economic of this. Please read it properly. Everybody has nowadays in our laptops also having SSD, so you know that what is meant by SSD and what is meant by HDD, what is meant by in-memory database. So please read it properly about in-memory database. टाइम स्टैम्प इन डिटेल, यू हैव टू रीड इट, यू कांट स्किप इट. व्हाट इज रेडियस, इसके ऊपर क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, तो रेडियस के ऊपर जरा सा प्रिपरेशन करके रखना. SAP HANA, ठीक है, पढ़ लिया तो भी चलेगा, एक बार रीड कर लेना. मूविंग अहेड, व्हाट इज Vault DB, फाइन, दीज आर द ऑप्शंस व्हिच आर अवेलेबल, सो यू कैन जस्ट रीड इट वंस. Moving ahead, explain Oracle 12c in memory database. These are the options which are related with the MongoDB. एक हाथ 2 प्रिपेयर कर लोगे, मोर देन सफिशिएंट. एक्सप्लेन Barclays एनालिटिकल डेटा स्टैक एंड स्पार्क, प्लीज रीड इट प्रॉपरली. मूविंग अहेड, एक्सप्लेन स्पार्क आर्किटेक्चर, कोई भी एक, तो स्पार्क आर्किटेक्चर भी एक बार पढ़ सकते हो आप लोग. नाउ मूविंग अहेड विद jQuery, दिस इज ऑल अबाउट द प्रैक्टिकल्स व्हिच आर डन अबाउट jQuery. All the informations are being available to you about jQuery over here. jQuery, you know that jQuery is nothing but the library which is provided by the open source developer, which consists of all the JavaScript functions. So इसका practicals आपने किया होगा तो ये थोड़ा सा आसान जाएगा. So please read it properly and practice it also. So I don't think so that you are facing a problem related with writing the answers of the jQuery. तो इसका थोड़ा सा information मैंने यहाँ पे पास किया हुआ है, तो you can just go through with the jQuery answers and explain DOM manipulation with jQuery. थोड़ा सा important, थोड़ा theory part भी इसमें आ रहा है, so you can just try to work out with this DOM model also. Moving ahead, explain jQuery events. अभी jQuery सर कैसे काम करता है ना, assumption is there, you are just preparing for the theory exam, practical exams already over, so you have practiced well. I was not able to put all the MongoDB practical session, but definitely in the next year I will be able to go for updating all these kind of practical videos. Whereas unit semester 6 I am trying to go for all practical videos also. So please subscribe the channel and stay tuned with us for semester 6 also. So these are all the important questions. Over here you will find jQuery images slider. मैं ये एग्जाम्पल के तौर पे दिया हुआ है, इसको थोड़ा सा एक बार रीड कर सकते हो, प्रॉब्लम कुछ नहीं. About unit 5, the smallest unit, तो भी 31 pages है मेरे पास में, तो एक बार देख लेंगे. What is the JSON is an important question. Again JSON, if you prepare it over here, then unit 1 का JSON तो आपका prepared हो ही गया, right? So again after the JSON, it will be asked to you about JSON versus XML. ये question आ सकता है, what is the difference between the JSON versus XML? Write a short note on JSON data type. Any 4 to 5 you can remember, that is more than sufficient for you. बिकॉज इतने सारे टाइप याद रख नहीं सकते, तो एटलीस्ट एक 4 to 5 तो आप लोग याद डेफिनेटली रह सकते हैं. सो आर एबल टू गो फॉर राइटिंग द आंसर्स प्रॉपरली. मैंने सब दिए हुए हैं, तो इसमें आपको जो कंफर्टेबल लगे वो आप लोगों ने याद रखना चाहिए, वो आप लोगों ने प्रिपेयर करना चाहिए. एक्सप्लेन अगेन JSON इन डिटेल, हाउ टू गो फॉर क्रिएटिंग JSON. जो MongoDB कर रहा है, एवरीबडी नोज दैट MongoDB डॉक्यूमेंट्स आर द JSON बेस्ड डॉक्यूमेंट्स. सो आइदर BSON बेस्ड होता है या फिर JSON बेस्ड होता है. फिर वो जावास्क्रिप्ट एंड जेसन का एग्जांपल प्रैक्टिकल में आपने ट्राई किया होगा, हाउ टू गो फॉर पार्सिंग द जेसन बाय यूजिंग द jQuery. These all methods had been practiced by you, so read it once. Okay, write a short note on JSON schema with a validation library is an important question. You can read it once. Moving ahead, इसके ऊपर थोड़ा सा प्रैक्टिकल में भी थोड़ा थियरी में भी थोड़ा सा क्वेश्चन आ सकता है जहां पे आपको प्रोग्राम लिख सकते हैं हम लोग. Explain JSON with PHP, HTML as well as what your Python. You had a practical where you are connecting your MongoDB with your Java also, with your Python also, with your maybe PHP also. So you have practiced about all this thing, which is nothing but a practical which are related with the Unit 5. So these are all the important questions of Unit 5. So in this video, we had covered our important question. All these PDFs which I had prepared for all of you, they are been available on Telegram channel. You are able to get a description link of a Telegram channel. So please subscribe Telegram channel also and subscribe to YouTube channel also. For semester 6, we will try our level best to come up with all practicals and all theory notes. Thanks a lot, students.